Okay, well, welcome everybody. We're going to be talking about Facebook and Instagram, and they are two different social media platforms, but they're owned by the same company. One of the things that we're going to cover is how they are similar, but also how much different they are. So, anyhow, a little bit about me. I am a digital marketing strategist. Uh, 30 years plus in marketing. Yeah, I'm an old guy, but I really get this digital stuff. Over 10 years ago, I went into um, digital marketing and inbound marketing, which has got a lot to do with being found in a search, which is what my business focus is. So when the prospects are looking for what you do, okay, um, if somebody does a search for your company by name, you should turn up, okay? But if they're looking for what you do, that's a whole different other skill set that has to do with search engine optimization. And then once you get the people to your website, what do you do then? Well, obviously you try to capture a lead. Then you want to qualify that lead and nurture the lead and then convert them to a customer. And it all depends upon um, let's say your particular business, how long that sales cycle can take. I worked with a software company when I started this journey in digital and inbound marketing, and our sales cycle was 18 months, but then we were selling $500,000 solutions. So yeah, it can take a while. Um, Sometimes if you're into immediate sales, that sale is going to happen like right away. Anyhow, your digital hub is your website. Everybody needs a website because that's what really is a place where you can take and um, list the solutions to the problems that prospects are searching on. And then all the other areas, your social media, you're talking about Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Pinterest, Instagram, the other social medias, blogs, you've got directories. I mean, it goes on and on. If you ever Googled yourself, your company name, you might be surprised at where you actually turn up. And what you want to do is try and manage all those things that are really important to your business so that you can take and optimize them so that when somebody is searching for that solution is somehow already showing up in those particular places so they can actually click on it and then find you. And if it's a directory, let's just say like yp.com, that there is a link back to your website. So that's what I mean. There's always this linking back to your website, the about content. Sometimes just the posts that you put out on the social media should link back to your website, all those things. So your hub is your website. That's what search engines are going to index the most and the best. And that's where you take and put constant changes in your content so that it triggers the search engines to re-index your website so that you can get found. Websites that are static over a period of 6 months to a year, they're considered dead by the search engine. And you won't start turning up. I mean, that's really what it is. Okay, social media 101. Okay, there's top platforms that are out there. YouTube is actually number one. Okay, and of course, if it was a search engine, it would actually be the second largest search engine after Google. And Google, of course, owns YouTube. But we're not going to talk about that today. You can see that Facebook's up there at 69% of users, and Instagram is then third at 37%. Well, you can see that it's not, there's a pretty big gap in between. And yeah, the number of users between Facebook and Instagram, there is almost, it's like less than 50%. Instagram has less than 50% of the users that Facebook has worldwide. Okay, then there's Pinterest, LinkedIn, Snapchat, Twitter, WhatsApp, and you could go on and on. There's a lot of different social media platforms that are out there. Okay, Facebook. Okay, it's 2.4 billion, active daily users. In the United States, 214 million. And that was from earlier this year. And You know, with COVID, I really probably could say this number has jumped pretty significantly. I just haven't been able to get new current data. But the demographics a little bit on that is, okay, male female ratio, 53% female, 47% male. It's almost 50-50. Okay, the chart is showing the age breakdowns by users in the United States. So you get like a little idea of where the people, the average age though happens to be 40.5, which is really kind of interesting when you look at the chart and you say, well, how is that possible? Well, there's a lot more people, I guess, over on the other end of 40. And so it reaches a different demographic. And I know it used to be, well, originally it was the college app. That's why there was Walls, and it's called Facebook. And Mark Zuckerberg started it in college as a way to communicate. And it's grown, okay? Partially because mom and dad and grandma and grandpa ended up getting on Facebook, that the kids started dropping out. So we're actually seeing a trend here where the 18 to 24, 13 to 24 is actually shrinking, and the other age groups are rising in terms of usage. So Facebook, like I said, it's a 2 billion pound gorilla. It's the big one after YouTube. All right, we'll do this. It's primarily a B2C network, okay, business to consumer. Has some B2B potential, and that seems to be growing. But generally, you know, it's not really a place where businesses are looking for solutions to their problems. Consumers generally might be, as well as a way for social interaction. There are different, they have pages and their groups, and they serve two different functions. And they do have some really kind of unique things that are going on with those particular areas. Insights and analytics. You can certainly see the insights and analytics on the usage on a business page. So, I mean, that's very important, so you can understand when your people and users are looking at your stuff, so that you can target your posts. You could actually time them. Now, you can enter a post manually and schedule it on your business page and schedule it so that it can hit during your prime times. Or you can use certain apps such as Buffer or Hootsuite or Deliverr to take and actually schedule multiple apps. And then there's times when you want to take and figure out why would you want to take and boost or pay Facebook to take and reach out to a wider market. And I just did that recently for a new client that had, trying to think, he had 32, no, he only had 16 people that liked his page. We got it up to about 60 right now, but we actually did pay to reach out to a larger group. All right, let's see here, go down that one. Okay, Facebook setup. Okay, usually it's best to take and set up your Facebook page on a desktop. Okay, and everybody has to have a personal account in order to set up a business page. That's one of those things that's a must on any social media platform. So on a business page, you select what business type you are. I mean, they'll guide you through this process. It's like a wizard. It's pretty easy. And then it'll show you the tabs. Now, tabs are basically the items listed along the left-hand side. It's like the menu. It's those things that you can take and say, yeah, that's important to me. No, that isn't. Some are mandatory. In other words, you cannot hide some of those tabs or create new ones, okay? Then you have different types of users, okay? Admin, of course, is the most powerful. That means they can do just about anything, admin manager. Then there's editors. Editors, of course, can take and touch upon certain areas and create posts, but they would not be able to take and do any changes to the page, add new people, etc. Then there's moderators, advertisers, and then there's analysts. So there's a lot of different things there. Then also on a business page, you can take and have a community tab as well as a group. You can actually create a group that's part of your page so that you can post as a business on that group. That may be relatively new to some people, but that is something that gives you that capability. Groups generally are something that people join, and when they post as individuals. They don't post as a business. Now, as a business that you own a group, that you started that particular group, you can take and be very selective as to who can join the group. You can do a screening process, but you can also take and say, yeah, I'll take and allow other business pages to join. Okay, so they would be able to post as a business, their brand, versus as an individual. But it's just a personal choice on your part. Now, community, on the other hand, is something where somebody would take and do a post on your page. That generally does not show up on your page feed, but it does show up in the individuals that like your page in a community feed. So there is a way for people to take and actually post your page and get some visibility. But that's something that is it's different than a group. So it's an individual just posting on a page. Okay, Instagram. Excuse me. Like I said, it's 1 billion active users. Okay, 120 in the United States, 120 million. So it is about 50% of the size of Facebook. It is owned by Facebook. So actually, when you take and start an ad campaign in Facebook, which is generally the place you start, you have the option to actually make sure that your ads also show up on Instagram. You don't even have to have an account on Instagram and for those ads to actually show up. So, I mean, there's some advantages there, but you're reaching a younger market, okay? As you can see here, 70% of the users are under 35. And the male-female split is about the same. So that's kind of an interesting demographic, but the big thing is if you want to reach the younger demographic, Instagram is the place to do it. Now, obviously, Instagram is something that is more visually based, although Facebook should be as well. You need something to, well, marketing 101 is arouse interest, create desire, motivate action. So you need to be able to have that one piece to arouse interest, and images and videos are the things that do it. Okay, so basics on Instagram. Again, 70% of the users are under age 35. It's very image focused, image and videos, okay? High use of hashtags. Not that Facebook doesn't use hashtags, but Instagram and of course Twitter were the start of all the hashtags. And hashtags are great because they do extend the reach of your post to a wider audience. Okay, and you can cross-publish on Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, and several other social networks that you probably will never do because I think one is Chinese, the other is Korean, there's a Russian. So, I mean, unless you're in those particular markets, I don't see why you'd automatically publish there. But you could take and create a post on Instagram and then actually publish that automatically on Facebook, Twitter, and Tumblr. Okay. And the engagement here is a little different than Facebook. As we probably know, on Facebook, you can like a post, you can comment on a post, you can share a post, and you can click on a post. Those are the four things. And on Instagram, it's a little different because it's sort of like likes, comments, you can comment on it, and you can do a direct message. But really, none of those things extend the reach of that post to your network, okay, or to the network of the person doing that. Where on Facebook, if somebody takes and comments or shares, they're actually extending the reach of your post as a business owner to their network without having that network like your page. So there's advantages to making sure on like Facebook that you create posts that are engaging, that you get people to do something, which is really comment and share, and to extend your post in a viral manner. All right, Instagram setup. This is best done on a mobile app, okay? It's one of those things where they don't have a very good interface on a desktop. This is where you go on the mobile app and you have a lot more tools to be able to take and set up your account. Okay, then you can have, like on Facebook, you have a business account and a personal account. So you can take and create, well, you have to start out with a personal account, and then you can create a business account off of that. So you can post as your brand, as your business, okay? And again, you can link to these other tools in your setup. Okay, now here's a shortcut or a link that's on HubSpot that I'll leave up here for a little bit. blog.hubspot.com/marketing/how to use Instagram. They've got a 30-day program, and every day they have like different things that you can do to take and learn how to use Instagram, as well as really build a good audience for your stuff. Okay, now we're going to get into social media 101. This applies to really anything, not just Facebook and Instagram, but you really need to understand your buyer or your prospect. I mean, that's really what a buyer is a prospect. Customers already know you, so that's not what I'm talking about here. You really want to know the demographics. Okay, and that's pretty basic. Okay, you got your income, you got male, female, you got age, you know, maybe location or where they live. Okay, so those are some of the basics of the raw demographic information. But then there's the lifestyle. Okay, do they drive a Chevy? Do they drive a Mercedes? You know, are they, you know, do they go out to eat a lot, or what kind of restaurants do they go to? I mean, there's all different kinds of things that get into what they call lifestyle. When I was going to school, it was called understanding the psychographics of the prospect. So it's understanding their lifestyle. So you got your demographics and your lifestyle. Those are two key elements to understand what your buyer actually looks at. And then where or what they actually do on social media. Okay, what are they doing on the web? So that's kind of an interesting thing. Where are they living on the web? What are they doing to solve their problems, if that's what they're doing on the various things? Pinterest is obviously primarily a female demographic. And what do people use Pinterest for? Do they take and share information? And sometimes people go out there and they look for that kind of stuff so they can take and actually get ideas for doing things for themselves. So I mean, this is where again, it's solving problems, okay? And you want to be the solution to that problem. So you want to post things as solutions. And that gets back to, okay, a lot of companies don't think of themselves as solution providers. They think, well, I've got these products and services. Well, let me tell you, nobody really cares about your products and services except you, okay? What prospects are looking for are solutions to their problems. So that's why they speak into their phone. Hey, where's the nearest coffee shop? They just ask a question. So you have to understand the questions that they're actually asking. And those are what's called, in the SEO world, long tail keyword phrases. But then you also have to understand when they're actually online doing what they're doing. Because as we all know, that when you take and post something, let's say you posted at 6:30 in the morning, by the time 9 o'clock rolls around, that post, if it showed up on that individual's feed, that somebody that liked your page, it's probably way the heck down off the page, because there's so many other things that come online that they may not see it. So that's where you have to understand when they're on, so optimum times to be able to actually do the posting. Okay, so here's somebody that I really like. I met her years ago, Adele, and she has buyerpersona.com. She really sort of is the queen of that. She started out doing buyer persona creation. She's probably one of the instigators of it. So she was right there on the cutting edge when she started. So there's all sorts of templates and tools that you could go out there, and she's got a blog. You can follow her on LinkedIn. I'm actually connected with her because, again, I know her from taking some workshops with her, and so early on, that's how I got to know about Adele. But there's other, resources that are out there on buyer personas. I'm not saying that she's the only one, but I have always found that sometimes the people that are out there early on are the best, and they continue to hone their craft and expand their knowledge base. And she shares great information. All right. Other things about social media. You need to set a goal. If you're posting, you need to, what do you want the reader to do? Is really what it comes down to. You want them to like that post. Okay. Now, on Facebook, that only means that they're going to see your stuff more often. That's not sharing it with their larger network. Okay. But if they share it, obviously they're sharing it with their network. If they engage, which means they comment on there, you created a post that solicits a comment, that's important. So that actually then shows up in the other people's feeds that they're connected with, that they commented on this post. That may take and solicit those individuals to like your page as well. And that way, organically, you can grow. And I've done this for several clients where we've created a post in such a fashion that people are sharing it or engaging on it, and then our page likes are growing organically. We're not paying Facebook to do that. So, or click. Okay, and click means, okay, you shared something you want them to click on. Could be a story that takes them to a news article. Could be, let's say, what I've done a lot of times is create a post in a group that I manage, and then I'll share that post in another group that has a larger following, similar interest. And that way, those people then click on that link that take them to that group so they can see what's going on with that post. And then, surprise, I get more people wanting to join the group, which was a goal. Okay. Sort of a secondary goal. The first goal was to have them get to read that post a little bit more. But the other goal was, hey, if you like the stuff that's in this group, join the group. So then the other thing is, I say, don't post and run. Years ago at the software company, we had been bought out by another firm, and they had a marketing firm help them out. And what was really kind of interesting is the marketing firm said, well, we just got to take and create posts because putting content out there is good. Well, to a degree, if you want somebody to do something with it. But if you're just posting something out there and you're not coming back to follow up, it's a waste of your time. Okay. You need to be able to take and come back to what's going on and make sure that your posts are engaging. Okay. So why create content? Okay. Create content on your website, create content on these social media platforms. You want to become the SME, okay? The subject matter expert, the thought leader, okay? And it does help increase your search engine results, especially if you're creating a link that takes them back to your website. So that's kind of important, okay? But it's also a way to, for you to engage with your market, okay, as a business. but you're really not just a business with, bricks and mortar. You're an individual that runs the business. So in some ways, when you're communicating back to those individuals, they get a nice feeling that, hey, there's somebody there that actually cares about me. So there's blogs and social media posts. That's where you create your content. All right, so here's the content creation cycle. Like I said before, you don't want to just post and run. In content creation cycle, there's 3 key elements, and they're comprised basically of listening 25% of the time, engaging 50% of the time, and publishing 25% of the time. And it is circular, because once you publish, you want to listen. Because if somebody takes and comments on it or does something, you want to then engage with them. And then it's a circular process. So if this gives you like a rule of thumb that you're going to take and say, okay, I have 2 hours a week to take and devote to social media, and you want to stick to that, okay? Because otherwise social media, while it can be free, your time is not free. You're taking away from other things. You want to be able to take and say, okay, I am going to spend half an hour listening. I am going to spend an hour in engaging. I'm going to spend a half hour publishing. So again, these are rules of thumb, and it's just like, it can change in your individual circumstances, but do take and set a specific time so that you don't get sucked into the social media wormhole or rabbit hole that you just spend a lot of time, you lose track of other things that you should be doing. Okay, talked about hashtags a little bit, and hashtags are actually the way to extend the reach of your market. Okay, I wish I could get rid of those things. Okay, because people actually follow hashtags. So each platform has its own, hashtags in terms of how many people are actually following them. And Instagram, for example, when you take and type in a hashtag, it can give you the numbers of people that are actually posting on that particular hashtag. So it gives you an idea of what the interest level is. But that doesn't mean that, let's say, a very specific hashtag that could mean a lot of money in terms of income to you would not be worthwhile doing. Okay, so you have to sort of balance that out a little bit. So a hashtag that may only have, like 100 posts. Well, if those 100 posts mean that those people are spending $100,000 each time they find a solution provider, that's worthwhile doing. Okay, so that's the same thing like a social media. If your buyers or prospects have a high dollar value to you, but they're not really terms of numbers on the social media platform, it may still be worthwhile to engage with them on that platform. Then there's etiquette. I mean, years ago, LinkedIn didn't do hashtags, and now they do. Facebook, it was, okay, hashtags, yeah, we'll do them, but don't go over 3. Oh, don't do that. People will get upset. Well, that's changed. Instagram, of course, could be hashtag heaven. I mean, I've seen posts from a lot of people that I follow where there's hashtags galore. They can put 20 of them on there. So, and how to find them? Basically, type a hashtag and start typing the word in your search box on any of the social media platforms, and the top 5 solutions are going to start populating. As you type more, they'll refine. So those are all those things that you want to take and do to find those hashtags that are important to your business. Some of them you can probably figure out yourself, but some of them you'd be surprised when you start doing the searches for the hashtags and seeing the volumes. So that's important that you need to work on. All right, now we're going to do a demo. Now it's interesting, Facebook just this week on the desktop platforms, if anybody's noticed this, they've changed their interface, and mine just rolled over yesterday. So it's like, whoa, okay, I can get used to this. I can find stuff. It hasn't changed too much. There's a difference in look and feel and how they, move stuff around. But a lot of times I deal within the apps, especially on the mobile platforms. So let's take and go to, I'm going to go to Instagram first. Okay, so this is my personal account and Instagram. And okay, these are people I follow. Okay, there's the first thing. And you can see my stories up on the upper left-hand corner. This is my personal account. I'm known as Marketing Geek. I have a cycling jersey on because I like to ride bikes. Kurt Getzinger is another marketer I know. And hey, he likes to take and post, some of the times the meals that he has. And you can see on here, he doesn't have really any hashtags. Okay. And I got Step Up for Life. Lincoln Murdoch is somebody I know. And quite frankly, he's actually going to be speaking at a bike ride that I'm doing this weekend. So that's something that I follow, his particular group. Then a few other things. Let's see, here's Jenny's Bikes. Okay, this is Green Streak Bicycle. And Jenny is one of the managers of Green Streak. So she shares things about her morning rides. This was last night, second practice, worked on braking, cornering skills. So she writes different things. And then you can see the hashtags that are out here. Nebraska MTB, mountain bike, National MTB, more kids on bikes, Papillion Composite. So she probably researched these things to take and extend the reach of these posts to beyond that. And I know this works because my client in northern Wisconsin that opened up started serving pizzas. We started doing that with, putting in pizzas and some other hashtags. And all of a sudden we started seeing people and businesses that liked his posts from all over the country. So it does extend that reach. That's why it's important to do this. So like here, all I can do is say, hey, I like that. That doesn't tell anybody that I'm connected with that I really liked it. Okay. So she's got, several pictures, and this is also a place for video, and there she's got a video. And it defaults right away where the video is without sound. So I'm not going to take and put the sound on there. Now, you saw a little bit when I first went to Instagram, there was a heart symbol, and popped up, and it had like some numbers on it, and it said how many people like certain things. Okay. So Jenny liked my post, okay, that I put out the other day. And it was of one of my rides. It was, I don't remember when, it was 2 days ago. And it was a very hot day, and I was just out on a ride. So she, liked that particular post. Now here's another one, and there's 4 others that like that same post. As you can see, it's the same picture. And one of them down there is On Cue Marketing LLC. Well, that's my business page. So I actually liked my own post to my business. And this is one of those things that I sort of encourage people to do. Because like here, I'm actually going out and looking at the people that like my post. And there's other people that I don't know. Like here, Susan Reff actually started following me. I don't know how she found me, but she liked it. So these are those things that are kind of interesting. Now, Kurt, on the other hand, yesterday actually said he wanted to know how the airflow was on my helmet. Okay, that particular helmet is called a Wave Cell helmet. So it's relatively new. It came out last year, and he's looking for a new helmet. So he wanted to know how it works. And I told him I think it works great in terms of airflow. Keeps my head cool. And it is my second one because I crashed and actually trashed the first one. And I did take and say that they replaced it under warranty, which on a crash. I mean, that's one of the things that this company actually offers. So they have a warranty on a crash. You crash your helmet, they'll replace it for free. What a deal. They're expensive helmets. That one was $150, but to me, that's worthwhile. So other things that I wanted to show you here is along the bottom, you can take, of course, this is your home button that gets you back to, your home. You can actually search on different things. And here's where you take and create a post and the plus sign. And I really don't have any posts that I want to create right now, but it'll go into look in the photos and that sort of thing. I'm going to cancel that. And then of course I showed the what that heart stuff is. And then here is, I clicked on my picture in the lower right hand corner, and it brought up saying I have 157 posts, I have 72 followers, I'm following 75. And it gives me a little bit of about, and then this is personal, okay? So my business page is a little different than this, but I actually put in that I'm president of the Bellevue Bicycle Club this year, and I put in the link to the website for them. But here, when you have a business page or you have other accounts, and right now I only have one other account that's on this iPad, you can click the down arrow under your name and you'll see the other accounts that are there. And I have Score Omaha as one of my other accounts on here. That just shows you that this is where you can take and manage multiple things. So if I had my business account actually added in here, I would actually be able to switch to it. I have that on my phone, so that's where I do a lot of my posting. Now, what we call the hamburger menu in the upper right-hand corner is where you can start looking at the other parts of your profile, where your settings, okay? Different things that you want to take and do. And so if you hit settings, it'll take and then allow you to look at, well, this is where you're actually going when you're actually setting things up. Now, I don't have things on payments in here, at least I don't think so. It has shows activity, but the account is really where I want to go, because this is what one of the areas that you want to go to where you can take and click on linked accounts. And here is where you can see your linked accounts. And so Facebook is active. I do have an active account on this particular profile for Facebook. I also have one on Twitter. It's not on this particular app on my iPad though. I do not have a Tumblr account, but like I said, there's, Chinese, Amoeba, I don't know what that is. This other one, I believe, is a Korean. Then there's a couple other ones. Of course, .ru is basically Russian. But if you set up a business page on Facebook, you can take and then share to your Facebook profile. You click on Facebook profile and it'll show you the page, okay? Now, I do manage a number of pages for clients as well as the Bellevue Bicycle Club and some nonprofits. So like I said, you can take and actually set this up so that when you create a post on your personal profile, it will automatically share it on your Facebook page. So an Instagram post can go over to Facebook. The thing is with Instagram, the photos are pretty much square. On Facebook, you can have portrait or landscape shaped photos. So they can have a different dimension. But when they show up on Facebook, if you take and share from Instagram, they will be square, just so you know. So when you're taking a photo and you want to share it on Instagram, you have to sort of realize that there may be elements that you might want on the photo that are not going to show up on Instagram, so therefore they're not going to translate over on your Facebook page. So you may want to take and say, okay, I don't want to share it on Facebook automatically. I'll do it manually. It gives you the option when you create the post to do that. And therefore you can take and be a little bit more selective and create a post separately on Facebook. And I've done that. And a lot of times when I do that, I don't necessarily share it on my personal profile, but I'll share it in a group, okay? Because I'm targeting a group, probably a special interest group of some sort. So like if I wanted to take and change my stuff from sharing to my personal profile, I would just select, you know, a Facebook page. So, like I said, I've got a number of different pages that I actually manage. So, share my thing to Facebook. You could actually share it to your story. Stories are a little different. They're just short-term stuff. You can have a short video or photos that show up on a Facebook story. Okay. Let's see. Okay, Global Cycling Network. And of course, you see the ads that show up, okay? And Instagram and other ones do. And this is where, when you advertise, this is when there is the possibility of having a link in the ad that'll take them to a landing page so you can conduct a transaction. You can also see that there were 30 comments. So sometimes people look at this and say, oh, so why can't I buy it direct from Libby Official? Okay, 27. But it's interesting sometimes because comments can actually almost be a review of that particular company. And let's see, view 5 comments. So Global Cycling Network, they talk about different things. Now, one of the things you can do on a comment is you can take and say, oh, I really like that comment. So you can take and click the little heart symbol next to it. And of course, you can do emojis and different things in your comment. One of the things I thought was interesting, well, wait a minute, I think that upgrade might be a Android update. Because on my phone, I know that when I type certain words, all of a sudden the emoticon actually shows up that I could select. I don't know if that's true on the iPad. I haven't done that lately. So Ride Happy, okay. This is another one. I get, okay, and then there's Bike Masters. And well, that's interesting. Jenny actually liked Bike Masters post, National Dog Day. I like all the bike shops, okay. Jenny works for Green Street, so that's a different bike shop. But you can take and put a post in, you can put a link in your post. Generally, it's going to be a non-clickable link. In other words, they'll have to take and copy and paste it. So a lot of times on posts I see, people take and mention that look for the link in my profile. So what they want you to do is click on the profile. I didn't get the profile link. Let me go here, click on that. So this will actually show up, and there we go. So here is, oh, there's a shop, and then there's also a link in the profile. So it is a way to actually bring people to your profile, but they have to take extra steps. And that means that they're really interested in it. You want to make it as simple as possible. So a lot of times that means that you probably will have to take and, you know, buy some ads. All right. So in this view, you can see stories. That's the first thing that comes up. I may take and turn this. So now we got a horizontal, so we get a little more landscape. I don't believe I can show a desktop view because this happens to be an app. Activity log, okay. And the menu's down on the bottom. So I'm in my news feed. And here's one of the guys that I know and I've met and I follow, Red Green, Canadian comedian, very funny. Okay, so when you have, let's see, can I get to my pages? I gotta go to menu, my pages. Okay, let me go to this one. Okay, this is the upcoming ride that I've got, Omaha Connect ride. And okay, so I'm gonna go to the insights on that. Okay, I've got a number of posts. I took and actually boosted one post, happened to be on the ride. And so I got 9,435 people that were actually reached. And there were a number of people that actually were engaged on that. This is the event promotion, and I spent $100 on it. Told me that there were 254 link clicks. So that's kind of interesting. I wanted to know that. And so 8,400, 8,500 people actually saw that in their feed. 254 people clicked get tickets to go to the Eventbrite page. I had them go right to the Eventbrite page. And then here I can actually see the breakdown of male, female, and then one was unknown. Didn't probably have that in their profile. So it gives me an idea that way. It also shows me age. So now I start seeing demographics of who's actually clicking on that. And like I said before, Facebook happens to be skewed to an older demographic. And this proves out, at least in this particular page, for sure. Placements, where was this ad placed? Okay, so it says desktop newsfeed. Okay, 25 clicks there, 207 on the mobile app newsfeed. Where do people spend most of their time? On their mobile apps, on their smartphones. Mobile in-stream video. Okay, wasn't a video, but it showed up in the video stream. So when somebody's actually looking at the videos that are on Facebook, the ad popped up. Okay, so when I created the ad, I said, yeah, show it here, show it in the marketplace, share it on Instagram. I want it all over. I want to maximize my reach. So I actually did 5 days at $20 a day, and I got a fairly good bang for my buck. In terms of number of people that signed up, that information I didn't get back yet from the Eventbrite page, but I could tell just from my communications with the event organizer that things picked up over the weekend. And that's pretty much when I took and actually started. I started the ad last Thursday to run over the weekend last weekend to try and boost some things. So here's the mobile news feed and then desktop. Now, it's not breaking it down specifically by the platform, because I didn't specifically say you can't do it on Instagram, but basically everything was in Nebraska. Okay, even though when I took and specified my demographics or my target market, I believe I took and said, okay, take and do a large location. Let's see. Okay, Elkhorn, Nebraska, with a 50-mile radius. So that reaches into Iowa, 18 to 65 plus. So I was actually doing anything. Then I actually said, what interest level? Okay, so when you set up the ad, you can actually start picking interest. So you can define and target, okay, fitness and wellness, okay, cycling or bicycle. So, I mean, those are the things that I put in there. And how does Facebook know this? Well, it's by your behavior. The app is free, but they gather information from you, data, so they can sell ads to people like me that can take and target those particular individuals. So that has a very big value to you as a business, because if you can target to that specific interest group, that's going to reach the people that are more likely to buy from you. So that is definitely worthwhile. Okay. So here is like, okay, I can add another $20 to take and hit one more day. I'm going to say, okay, one more day. Go ahead. Give me another day and see if we can reach out to any more people. So it's going to start today. It says end date tomorrow. So I'm not changing anything else on that. Now, one of the things when you take and work in ads, well, let me see. I want to, let's see, insights. Okay, I got new page likes. I got followers that are resulting out of the last 4 days. 131 page likes, just 4 in the last 4 days. This view isn't showing me. Let me see. Want to look at a specific post. On the desktop view, it actually can give you, let's say, time of day that people are actually seeing it. That's what I was trying to look for here. Okay, so here's what I did with this particular post, okay? I said, where is this? Okay, so right away, I'm actually asking people to get engaged, okay, and actually put a comment on there. Okay, the first 3 people that have the right answer and a comment will get half off discount coupon for any drink at Scooters. I work with Scooters. They're a partner of this ride to take and give us stuff that we take and share here. Now, granted, there are no comments on this particular post, but this isn't the only place I shared it. I also shared it on some Facebook groups, and I actually did get some comments there, and I am sending these people, these discount coupons. So what it did, though, is when they commented on it, it extended the reach of my post to their network. That was my goal. Where is it? I want people to comment on it so they can take and extend the reach of my post beyond my network, beyond the people that, are in that group or that like that page. And then you can also see on here that I used a tool called Buffer to actually create the post. So by doing this on Buffer, I spent probably an hour on Monday night, or maybe it was Sunday, to take and set up pretty much a week's worth of posts. And I let it do its thing. I set the post up and let it go. Now, one of the things you can see is that there 814 people were reached. Now, remember, on my page, I only have 131 likes. So what happened is with the clicks that were given, I got more people that actually saw this post, and I didn't pay for that. So I think that's kind of neat. But let's say if you wanted to take and see, here, Matt Copeland actually said Chalco, which is true. That's over at Chalco. We're Spawn Lake Playground. So, and if you're a cyclist, a lot of times people know that. All right. But a simple way of boosting a post is to click this. Okay. And then you can start taking and, this post I didn't pay for. So now I'm saying, okay, I want to take and pay for it. So get more engagement, get more messages. Those are kind of the goals that they're giving you. Yes, I want more engagement. Do I want a button? Yeah, I want to take and put a button. What do I want to do? I want to take and, let's see. Get directions, send WhatsApp message. Unfortunately, it's not the button I want. Kind of would have liked to add it to the link. Now that shortened link that's up there, the buff.ly, happens to be the link to the website. That's the one thing about Facebook that you can do. You can put a link in your post that is clickable. So people can click on that. Now, when you use a tool like Buffer or Hootsuite or Deliverr, there are insights that you can actually gather as to how many times those things are clicked and get some analytics that way. So that's worthwhile doing. I'm going to say no button. We're going to keep that. Would have liked to have actually taken them somewhere. So ad category, we don't have a special ad category here. It's not credit, employment, housing, or anything about elections or politics. And this is where you would go into the targeting, all right? So you'd edit the targeting. And so I got 18 to 65, and right now it's Omaha, and it says 450,000 people are possible within the Omaha area. And what is the Omaha area? Well, cancel. You could actually put in specific cities, okay? Region. I wonder why that, I guess it just says Omaha. I wonder if I took a put. Nope, it's not providing me anything else. I thought it might take and provide a, let's say a region. I could say I want 50 miles of Omaha. All right, this is where you add your interests. And this is where you would take and put in. And as you can see, when I take and type in the word, it gives me suggestions. These are the suggestions that are being provided. So I can add road cycling, okay? Because road cycling is what we're doing. Cycling short, cycling team, maybe cycling club, okay? Infrastructure, cycling, those are the ones for cycling, okay? So we save that, and then we can take and add other things. So this is where you start typing the word fitness. And you got physical fitness. And you'll see men's fitness, muscle fitness, fitness girls, bodybuilding. So these are the things, some of it's business related. Planet Fitness, for example, is a business. But you got physical fitness, fitness and wellness. So you could take and add that to the group. So that's where you start defining. So save. Now you can see the numbers drop down from 450,000 to 250,000. Well, those other 200,000 didn't have that interest, so why would you want to take and spend money to reach them? Okay. Now, granted, not everybody is sharing information about themselves where LinkedIn can gather that they have interest, but I mean, if you're part of any particular groups that you kind of like, obviously you're going to show that as an interest level. So I'm going to cancel this ad. I don't want to take and I'm not really boosting the ad, that post. Now, there's another way of doing it. I have not done that through an app, but you create an advertising account and it gives you more tools to take and actually specify where you're actually running your ads. So that is where you can say, yes, I want it on Instagram. No, I don't. Yes, I want it in the Facebook marketplace. No, I don't. So you can be a little bit more discriminatory in where you want your ad to show up. Okay. So that's actually a better way to do that. And Facebook does have some classes and some tutorials on how to take and leverage their advertising program for your maximum efficiency. And I do recommend that you go out and look for that on the Facebook Helps. And that's also where you can actually interface with a real live person from Facebook, okay? Generally, if you try to take and reach out to somebody at Facebook, you're never gonna figure out how to do that. But through their Facebook advertising program, where you set up an advertising account, you'll be able to do that. So that's something that is available when you do things, I would say not through the app, okay? That's one of the things I would do. Okay, so now I'm going back to the page here because I wanted to show you, okay, if I scroll over on the tabs, okay, on the on the mobile view, on an app view, it's here instead of being left-hand column. But there's a community, and there's nothing going on in this particular community. Oh, yeah, well, there is some. There's a few things. But that's not really what I want, but groups. So I actually started the Omaha Connect Ride group. Now, granted, there's not a lot of people that like that. Maybe a better example is, let me go here. Pages, Bellevue Bicycle Club. Okay, so this is where community is, and we've had different people actually comment. Okay, so Tammy took and posted on the Bellevue Bicycle Club, which showed up in the group, then shows up on feeds sometimes. Embrace the Hills is coming soon. This happens to be something that there's like a common interest ride that's coming up. So she's sharing a link to that particular thing. But you can have groups. So I created this group called Heartland Area Cyclists for the Bellevue Bicycle Club. And the reason I call it Heartland is that I wanted to extend the reach. I just didn't want it to be tagged with Bellevue. Now, I don't even live in Bellevue. I don't live in Sarpy County. I live in Southwest Omaha. So Bellevue Bicycle Club is more than just Bellevue, but because of the name, everybody thinks it's just located in Bellevue. 2/3 of our members don't live in Bellevue. So I wanted to provide that as a little bit of background. But Heartland Area Cyclist, I'm expanding the reach to include Lincoln and Council Bluffs and Fremont, larger area. Started this group earlier this year. I believe it was in February, January, February. I've got 116 members. I didn't pay for it. Basically, it's when I take and have a post, I'll take and share it in another group that I'm a member of that's in Omaha called Cycling Omaha, Nebraska. And that particular group has 2,000 members in it. So when I take and post something in there that brings them back to my group, that has benefit. Basically, I get more people that are, wanting to join our group. And okay. I'm looking at my feed on my MacBook, and I don't see this actually coming through yet either. I don't know why. Let's go back there. Come on. Okay, maybe there's another way to get here. Groups. There we go. Okay, so actually mimic the logo. The BBC logo is Heartland Area Cyclist. And you can have announcements right away. We have this as the announcement, which is, pinned to the top, talks about what the group is all about. And then there's other people that are sharing, information here. So, and this is where you get engagement. And this is what's kind of neat about groups. So you're discussing in a common interest area, but I could take and go here. And this is that one post that was on Facebook, on Instagram, that people like Jenny. And you can see the helmet that I have here, but this picture is a portrait. So I actually took and shared it separately from Instagram here. Okay, so I took and shared it here. And the next thing I could do with this post is to take and share it again And then it says share to a page, share to friends. It's interesting. Let me see. How am I interacting? I'm interacting as myself. Okay. When I created the page by a business, Bellevue Bicycle Club is the page owner, but I am actually linked as the person. That's how I'm interacting. That's interesting on here. So share to a page, more options. That's not what I want. Share. Usually one of the other things that it actually provides me is to share it to a group. I'm not seeing that here. Okay. Can I share this one to a group? Nope, only to a page. That's very interesting. The iPad is a little different on their app and what they allow. So, but anyhow, that's where on, let's say, my phone or my desktop or some of the other tools that I use, devices, it allows me to take and share it to another group. And that's why, I'm a member of different groups. And I am promoting this particular ride that's coming up. And let's see, Cycling Omaha, Nebraska. This is that other group that I talked about. 2,400 members are in this group. Now, it's kind of interesting that when you post here, a lot of people do get to see it. Okay, so there's a lot of interaction going on. Thing about groups is that if, like we on the Bellevue Bicycle Club, if I create an event on my group and I post it, all the members of the group will see that as a notification and invitation to that event. That is, if your group is 800 people or less. Okay. Facebook changed that a while back to have that limit. Otherwise, like here on this particular group, it'd be great if I'd take and be able to post an event out here, create an event, because you can do that, and say, okay, if I create an event, create a group event, when I hit post, everybody in the group, all 2,400 people, would get an invitation to the event. Well, that doesn't happen anymore because it's over 800. But if your group is less than 800, or the group that you're a member of that you're creating the event in is less than 800, everybody in that group will get an invitation, which is kind of an advantage, because if you want to take and increase your reach for a particular event, you create the event in a group that's got less than 800 people that you're part of, and you didn't pay Facebook to do that. I'm all about free if I can get it. So the other thing is you get the notifications. I love notifications because it actually lets me see what's going on. So I've got different things, and sometimes Facebook asks me to take and do stuff. Medford Inn is one of my pages. They say, hey, you got to create a post. Well, whatever. Let people know about the BBC Saturday Coffee Ride. That's an event that's on our page, and we posted it on our page. We don't pay to boost it. That's not part of our marketing plan and budget. But the other things are in here, and you can see different things that are going on. Like here's another group, Omaha Area Cycling Group Rides and Cycling Events. So that would be something that I'll probably post something out later on today. Here's a mountain bike race that John, who's actually the admin of the page, had done. But there's other, this really doesn't fit because this isn't really a cycling event. So, but this is more for the cycling events. But how many people? There's 693 members on this page. So again, if I take and create an event on this page, everybody on the page will get an invite. So there's some advantages to being members of interest groups as an individual. And like I said, you can sometimes join a group as a page. So therefore you can take and brand your post as your business. But it's all up to the admin sometimes whether or not they're going to allow that. That's something new that Facebook has just started to do. I don't know if there's any questions right now. Bree, are you still there? Or somebody?
Yep.
If there's any questions that have popped in?
We haven't had any questions yet. If anybody has questions, go ahead and enter those into chat.
Well, I'm pretty much wrapped up if there's no other questions.
Yep, looks like nobody has any questions, so I think we'll just end a little early today.
That sounds good.
All right. Well, if anybody wants to view this presentation again, it will be available on YouTube later on in the next week or so. And watch out for the next month. Oh, I didn't have the calendar up. Remind me, Jeff, what are we doing next month?
Oh, you had me. I had to ask that question.
Yeah.
Let me see. Can
Hold
I find
on,
it?
pull up the calendar.
You gonna pull it up?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
I had it until I started talking about it. Next month, we're doing the business of LinkedIn. So
okay.
Join us next month when we'll be talking about LinkedIn. All right.
All right, everybody. Have a good day.
Have a good day.